Hello, I'm Jenny Connor from Dalton Moor Farm. Dalton Moor Farm is a vegan organic fruit farm in Dalton-le-Dale, County Durham in the northeast of England. It is also home to the School of Sustainable Living and Wellbeing. I've lived in the farmhouse here since 1992 and I bought some land around the farmhouse in 2011. And then I bought some more in 2015. In total, I have around 24 acres. It was previously arable farmland with wide open fields. Hedges and ditches have been progressively removed. There have been lots of pesticide and synthetic fertilizers used. While I was living in the farmhouse for all those years, I watched most of the wildlife around me disappear. So when I finally got my hands on some of the land, I set about trying to make an improvement. I put up fences to protect the land from vehicle trespass, which had become rather problematic. I reinstated ditches and I stopped using pesticides and chemicals. I planted around 5 kilometres of new mixed native fruitful hedging, which is beneficial in providing food and habitat for the wildlife. By doing this, I have divided up the fields into smaller paddocks to provide a range of different habitats and provide more shelter. And I've planted thousands of trees. This includes 4 orchards. The first orchard was planted in 2013, so is now given an apple crop. There's me planting the first apple tree. The other 3 orchards were planted in 2019, so are too immature yet, but will hopefully provide crops in the future. Of course, the orchards provide food for many of our resident species of wildlife, with a veritable smorgasbord of delicacies for them to share in the autumn. The trees are mixed apple varieties and the purpose is to make cider and apple juice. We're recreating some wildflower meadows across the farm and we're seeing a diverse range of plant species reappearing of their own volition. To help them along, I've also added some extra wildflower seeding just to give them a bit of a head start. Of course, we have cultivated flowers all around the farm gardens too for our pollinators. There's a 12-acre field which we're rewilding. It's a mixture of short and long grass, scrub and some trees. Mostly the trees have planted themselves or have been planted by someone. Jays and squirrels are our most likely secret tree planters. During the first lockdown in 2020, I rescued 1,000 oak tree saplings that were going to be destroyed. I got volunteers from the community to come and help plant about half of them out in the rewilding field, just to help things along a bit. So we got lots of local volunteers out into the countryside, learning about nature, engaging hands-on with nature, and learning how to plant trees, because we showed them how to do it. It was all done COVID secure, socially distanced. All the tools were sanitised. We'll invite the volunteers back every year in May for a picnic, so they can see how things are progressing in the field. I feel that's important because these are their trees. These are the trees for the future, for the children who planted them. I'm not going to be around long enough to see them grow up into enormous oak trees, but hopefully some of the people who planted them, and in turn their children, will do so. So we're doing quite a lot here, trying to help nature create a range of different habitats to form a joined-up ecosystem that can sustain itself into the future. We have some wet areas which flood in very wet weather and then dry up again, providing a seasonal habitat that comes and goes. We're going to add 3 newt ponds this year in conjunction with Durham Wildlife Trust and Natural England. We have bee boxes, bug hotels, a hedgehog box, numerous bird boxes and owl boxes around the farm. I create giant stick piles amongst the hedgerows from the orchard prunings, and these grow bigger year on year. We're pleased to see a variety of animals returning. A heron visits occasionally, and we have seen deer, foxes, badgers, rabbits, lots of smaller mammals like stoats, squirrels, mice and voles, things like that. There are holes everywhere in the ground for their burrows. Some of these holes house bees or wasps. Being a vegan farm, we don't keep honeybees, but we do everything we can to encourage our native bumblebees, including occasionally rehoming nests that have been recovered from people's houses by a local pest controller. We also have increasing numbers and varieties of other insects. Butterflies, moths, beetles and spiders too, toads and frogs and many small hedgerow and meadow birds. What we're not really seeing many of yet is the larger ground nesting birds, and we'd like to see more of those. I did see a curlew the other week, which was exciting, but I'd love to see the lapwings come back. There used to be hundreds of them when I first moved here in 1992, but they disappeared many years ago, and I've seen very few over recent years. So I'd love to see those back, along with more partridges and pheasants too. We've got tawny owls at the moment around the farm. Barn owls used to live in our old barn, but the little owls used to live in the end of the farmhouse. Very sadly, they were all shot or poisoned in 2012 by the local cohort of idiots who don't care about anything. Luckily, I care, and the small team of us here, me and my husband Tom, and the lad who works with us, Philip, we all care, and increasingly the community around us is finding out that they care as well, which is good. At the School of Sustainable Living, we are trying to empower people by giving them skills and knowledge to be more confident, more self-reliant, and to live more sustainably. So we encourage them to move away from the overly dependent, throw-away, disposable society, to start to discover old skills and knowledge, to appreciate and care for what they have. And if there's something you can't use anymore, either make it into something else or let someone else have the use of it. Don't just chuck it away, and certainly don't chuck it on the ground. So we'll teach people how to forage, how to grow, how to make their own food, how to make their own clothes and homewares, how to make their own toiletries and cleaning materials. Generally, to start to move away from all the throwaway plastic-packed, mass-produced stuff that people have become so dependent on, to become happier, healthier people. Later this year we should be able to offer off-grid accommodation. I hesitate to call it glamping as there's nothing very glamorous about it, but it will be magical. We have 3 reclaimed wooden teepees where people can come for retreats and live more simply for a few nights, then hopefully take some of the things they've learned home with them. We try to look after our resources too, and we have 6 12,500 litre water storage tanks for the rainwater we harvest from our big barn roof, and we'll use that for irrigation around the farm and for our off-grid camping. We have solar panels on the farmhouse and a 15 kilowatt wind turbine. Between these we generate more than the electricity we use. And from the things we grow we make foods to drink and sell. We make cider, apple juice, fruit juices and a whole range of preserves, sweet, savoury and fermented. We make a vegan honey, that's HUNNY, made by me, not by bee. It replicates the good qualities of Manuka honey without taking it from the bees. It does have a honey flavour in its lovely, complex flavoured palette as well. I make a vegan lemon churd, that's churd, not curd, because like honey, curd is a reserved description. And I make the lemon churd to order because it doesn't have as long a shelf life as the other products. Our fermented products are cider, apple cider vinegar, kombucha and fermented pickles. These are all delicious and really healthy. Fermentation with all those clever little microbes is something which is truly wonderful and good for us to know about, to live with and consume. Anything that is sold, bought from the farm, any experiences such as foraging, drum circles or mindfulness, or any of the other day or short or longer courses that we can offer once we come out of lockdown in 2021, anything purchased from the farm helps us to continue supporting the environment and supporting our community. My husband and I live on our pensions, and in fact spend most of those on the environment and developing the farm too. Everything is focused on helping nature and helping the next generations to learn how to live more sustainably and to still have a planet to call home. If you would like to visit, please do. You can find us on Google My Business and on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can shop our products on Shop Appy or in the Discovery Durham shop in Prince Bishop's in Durham, or direct from me at the farm here. You can get our cider online from smallindependentcidermakers.co.uk. We do sell to trade and business to business, so please get in touch if that's relevant to you. We'd love to meet you in person, so do please come to visit. Thank you for watching.